the Coroners Court is co-located with the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine, and I thought I'd very briefly raise the Chamberlain case that you might have heard of. It's a famous case from the 1980s, and it involved the death of Azaria Chamberlain, and it led to important questions being asked about how coroners were using experts in their investigations. It was the disappearance of 9-week-old Azaria Chamberlain. She disappeared from the campsite where her family were staying at Uluru, which is it used to be known as Ayers Rock in Central Australia. And there were 4 coroner inquests held in respect of her disappearance. At the first inquest, the questions for the coroner were whether she had died in unexplained circumstances, or had she been seized by a dingo, or had in fact some of her family members been involved in her disappearance. And the inquest heard evidence from dingo experts and a forensic odontologist regarding a torn and bloodied jumpsuit. And at the end of the inquest, the coroner accepted that a dingo had been involved and made comments about wild animals around national parks and campsites, and made exculpatory comments about the Chamberlains, and also was very critical of the police investigation. And that led to further police investigation, and on the basis of new evidence that a forensic biologist had found fetal blood in the Chamberlains' car, an application was made for a second inquest, which was granted. And at the second inquest, after more experts were heard, Lindy Chamberlain, Azaria's mother, was committed to stand trial for murder, and she ended up spending more than 3 years in prison. And after exhausting all avenues of legal appeal, there was a chance finding in 1986 of the matinee jacket that Azaria had been wearing when she disappeared, and it was found in an area full of dingo lairs. And that led to Lindy Chamberlain's release from prison, and the convictions were overturned. And there was a third inquest which resulted in an open finding. That was in 1995. There was then a fourth inquest in 2012, and that inquest found that Azaria Chamberlain had been taken and killed by a dingo, and Mrs. Chamberlain was awarded some compensation, not as a result of the inquest. But importantly, for purposes of what I'm saying to you today, there was a Morling Royal Commission into the case, and ultimately that exposed the flawed scientific evidence that the supposed fetal blood in the car was in fact a sound deadener that was applied during the manufacturing process of the car. And the case really became a catalyst for institutes of forensic medicine and science and the creation of protocols, accreditation and improved quality control in forensic science.